Hello, and welcome back to Xpwaste, where some people invest in the stock market. I invest in the shark market. I'm Michael.
And I am Oxie. If you're new around here, especially if you're new from last week, this is a podcast that talks predominantly about Old School Runescape. Surprising, I know, especially since we have Old School Runescape creators and you may have searched Old School Runescape. But we do talk about the game almost entirely. I almost said talk about the show, which we kind of do, but we talk about the game more than we talk about the show. We get off on tangents and we do other things that aren't always RuneScape because the name of our show is Xpwaste, and the best way to Xpwaste is to not play RuneScape. So, you know, tangents are a thing. Ironically, though, we both will be playing the entire time while we record. Michael is going to be cooking sharks, and I am going to be making line fires because I hate myself, and I'm finally going for 99 fire making. If you're not new around here, I hate myself, and I'm finally going for 99 fire making. And I'm just... it's going to be boring, and my eyes are going to be down here the whole time because, like, I have to look at the screen to click on the logs. So if I'm not making eye contact, I promise I'm still paying attention. They're making fun of me in the recording booth chat for explaining my own show. Michael, how's your week going?
It's going fantastic. My cheeks still hurt from a week ago exactly. All the laughing that we did last week. So, you know, great time. Hanani, if you're listening, thank you for being on the show.
For real, thank you.
Yeah, my week in RuneScape has been pretty lackluster, I would say. Still have just been mining. I got the superior mining gloves, so now I think I'm like 50. They're like minerals, 50 unidentified minerals away from having the expert mining gloves, which, like, it's twofold, right? They're cool gloves to have if you want to mine amethyst because there's like a 25% chance that the amethyst won't deplete after you mine it once, which it always does. And the 3 slots, or the 3 gloves, are in the collection log. So I'll have 3 pretty slow items out of the way once I'm done. Like, I have been mining while I'm working for probably 4 to 5 hours out of the 8-hour shift, and it still has taken me at least like 3 weeks to get the 240 minerals that you need from like having no gloves to having the expert mining gloves. It's very, very slow. Very slow. But I checked my amethyst stack, and it's close to 15 mil worth. I don't have 15 million amethysts. It's close to 15. It's worth 15 million GP, which is great because like that was 15 mil I didn't have 3 weeks ago, and now I do. So if you're actually like, listen, if you can work from home and you maintain your membership via a bond, get 92 mining and just sit at amethyst while you're working. It's very AFK. You don't have to click that often, and you can maintain yourself a bond each month. You can maintain 2 bonds, actually, and you need 2 bonds, right? You need 2 bonds for the entire month. You can maintain membership. That's what people don't really ever talk about. Side note, they're like, ooh, you can get a bond in a month. Well, you need 2 bonds because it's only 14 days. So it's technically like 15 mil, depending on the bond prices per month in GP. But all of that aside, my week's been pretty great. I'm not feeling sick anymore, which is, I mean, I kind of am. A little bit congested, but it's not as bad as it was the last 2 weeks. And fingers crossed, because my wife has not gotten sick and my son has not gotten sick. So I think we're past it. We're past it. No one's passing it back and forth anymore. But yeah, how about you, Oxie? How are you?
I'm good. I gotta level with you. That's gotta be the most boring fucking way to make a bond I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's boring, but like
I can't.
I can do it while I'm working. So like either I'm not mining amethyst and I'm doing something else that's AFK, like redwoods, or I mean, okay. Tell me a method that I can do while I'm working that requires, I can think of one, but tell me a method that requires very little attention that can make a bond in 2 weeks.
Blood rune crafting.
Blood runes are not as profitable as you would think anymore. They're
Blood
only
rune
like 200
crafting,
each.
soul rune crafting, abyssal rune crafting. Rune crafting makes a lot of money. I do Hydra.
I was gonna say
at
AFK
work.
Slayer, but
I was gonna say I can do Hydra at work. So I don't know. I'm a little skewed. If I have free time, I can do like a 10 kill Hydra trip. It's not. You're not wrong that it's gonna make money. It just sounds boring as hell. Like you said that, and I'm like, all right, while you're at work, do something that also feels like work, because it's mining amethyst.
Yeah. Part of my goals, this all bleeds into my goals for the year for 2023. This plays into two of them. I want the mining pet, which it's a decent chance with amethyst. It's like 1 in 40,000. I say decent because the alternative with iron is like 1 in 750,000. So, you know, odds are better with amethyst. And I want to get 15 million XP in all my skills. And I've gained close to 1 million XP just doing amethyst and the random volcanic mine that I was doing with Jake. So it's playing into both. I only need 600k more mining XP to get to 15 million. And I surely will have the expert mining gloves by then. So who knows? I also want to get 15 million runecrafting XP. So I may switch over to do Bloods or Souls once I finished getting 15 million mining XP. Because currently I'm at 13.6 million runecrafting XP. We haven't gotten to your week, so I do want to give you that.
I mean, my week has been fine. I've had some relatively uneventful RuneScape days. I mean, the problem with that is that I got into Valheim. So let me back up and start the story. Let me start the story from the beginning. I went into work on Monday. I felt fine. Everybody else felt fine. I woke up at 6:50 on Tuesday to go to work, and I got a text from my boss at 6:42 right before I woke up that was like, hey, 2-hour delay, half the staff has COVID. I'm like, holy shit, that's not good. So I woke up, I was like, I'm like, I don't think I should test right now. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to shower, I'm going to flush out the allergies, because I have had morning allergies and sniffles and coughs and breathing problems every day since I was in like the 5th grade. So when COVID like first broke out, I woke up one morning and I couldn't breathe and I had to take my inhaler. I was like, oh my God, I have COVID. I'm dying. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, this has been a problem every day since like middle school. It was that SpongeBob scene where Squidward goes on the walls. Well, ooh, screen slime. Wait a minute. They always do that. That's kind of what that was like. So I woke up, I showered, I tested negative. And I'm like, well, still a 2-hour delay. I'll get my poop in a group and I'll go to work. And as I texted my boss that I was negative, she texted me back and is like, yep, a lot of people are positive. We're closed until next Monday. I'm like, okay, you don't gotta tell me twice. So I haven't been sick, and I have had just effectively an entire week off of work. And it has felt so good because I have not felt truly rested since the holidays. We had all that time off, but like I only got to go home for like 4 days for Christmas, and like you guys know, going home like 4 days sounds like a long time, but 4 days at Christmas is a nightmare because it's 2 travel days, 2 holiday days, and like it's just busy the entire time. And then I had to drive back to where I live right now because I had to work for 2 random days, because we couldn't give the kids the whole time off, because the kids I work with will get into trouble if they don't have structure. I love them all very dearly, but that is just the nature of the population I work with. And I just was like feeling burnt. I'm like, why do I feel burnt out? And we're 3 weeks into January. Like this is not okay. I need some sort of like long-term break. Mm-hmm. And this has been fantastic. I don't know if I'm super raring to go back to work tomorrow. And like, knock on wood, we're getting ass blasted by a snowstorm right now in Michigan, so maybe I won't, but we'll see. I've had the week off, and this week off has cascaded into what has been possibly the best week I've had in the last like 6 months. My state license finally got confirmed.
Nice.
So I'm finally, MA LLC, which is what they call us now, limited license counselors, which also stands for limited liability company. And I was telling my supervisor I should become a limited liability company just to confuse people, like MA LLC LLC, just for fun. So I have my letters, which don't mean anything, but they do give me street cred, which is nice. So if the court system ever needs to like talk to me, they'll know that I'm legit. So that's really fun. My sister has been at home basically revamping the house. Our house is pretty old and has kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit because my sister and I like have and have not lived there over the last several years. And my dad has also been back and forth because he works kind of far away from home. So the house has just been in disrepair. She's fixing that up. God, I don't know. We cranked out the episode yesterday. We did the extra episode. I was able to edit the Hanani episode with a lot of time to do it properly. That took me 7.5 hours to edit, by the way.
Oh gosh.
Syncing that up and finding all the files, like, and that's not because like, oh, it was bad or it was hard to edit. We didn't actually have any audio problems. I just wanted to make sure it was good.
I think so that's the first time we've had a guest with 0 issues.
Well, I was freaking out at first because she's a YouTuber and she actually knows how to use this software that we bitch about every single day. And she like sent us a track with a different audio track as the main thing. So she recorded desktop audio, but it was on a separate track. And when I clicked it in my editing software, it had showed the desktop track. And I was like, I'm going to fucking cry. Like, she recorded desktop audio. And I was like trying to figure out how to fix it. And I just right-clicked the file and it showed 2 audio tracks. And I'm like, what if I click on this other one? And it was her audio. And I was like, oh my God, we're saved. I texted Michael.
You messaged me?
I texted Michael. I'm like, you need to call me on Discord right now. And he's like, I'm in a meeting. I'm like, I don't care. The minute you're out of this meeting, I need you to call me because this could be a disaster. But we're good. We're fine. It was a good episode. I had a lot of fun making it. It's been an overall very good week. Transitioning to RuneScape though, some of the people I play RuneScape with also have random survival game fixations that last for about a month. So it was Minecraft, then it was Ark, and now it's Valheim. So I bought Valheim on sale, and we've been playing that, and we're having fun with it. It's a nice, like, Iron Robin just got the Skotos pet. Nice. It's been fun. It's been fun to play Valheim, but I don't, like, play RuneScape while I play other games. Especially if I have to, like, go to, like, a menu and, like, tab out and go to another thing. Like, I'm not going to do that. So.
Right.
I've been playing Valheim, and then in game when I have been playing, I've been doing a couple raids. I've been doing theater mostly, and I've been having a good time with that. I did 1-2. We actually saw purples this week. I've made money. It's been nice. I've then spent it all on like Blood Fury charges and Swift Blades and the 7 mil I'm going to spend in Swift Blade for Nilo room. It's 3 ticks, so you melee Nilos faster. So I'm either North Freeze or E-Girl, and either way I melee crabs. So things may change, but one thing stays the same, and it is that Oxie kills the white crabs in Nilo.
I just remembered I have to be South Freeze by the end of the year.
Yeah. South Freeze also... South Freeze is a lot of fun, but it's very stressful at Nilo because you kind of run the show. You have the freezes. You got to make sure you get your doubles on time. Mage slaps the shit out of everybody. So, yeah, Mage Nilo is fun, but Mage Nilo is stressful. It's easier with good teammates, says Fear in the recording booth chat, and he's absolutely correct.
Hi, Fear.
But yeah, we had a good weekend. Yesterday we had a good morning. We had Jamie's maxing party. It's like spoiler alert for the achievement of the week. That was that. We had a good time with that yesterday. Fencing is going well. I got all my new fencing gear, so it's got my name on the back. It's real fancy.
You'll have to send me a picture of that.
I will. Yeah. So I've had a fantastic week so far.
That's great. I'm so happy for you. Yeah. Having this week off, unplanned. Like if it was a planned week off, I think the mental would be a little different because you're like, I have a week off. But if it's a surprise week off, then you're like, oh my gosh, this is even better.
Yeah, I
You know
don't
what I
have
mean?
to
Just
do
like,
anything. It
yeah,
was so
because
nice.
you already had you were geared up to like just work this week, continue to be burned out,
Mm-hmm.
but then bam, surprise week off, which is great.
Free week off, here for it. It's good shit. Good shit.
Yeah, it's
But
my busy season, so I'm actually ramping up. And this, like, my busy season probably won't end until like the end of April or March. So I'll be pretty busy boy at work.
I don't have a busy season. I'm hoping this is my busy season, and I'm hoping no kids get in trouble so I can do the bare minimum over the summer and enjoy my summer. But
Oh yeah,
we'll see. Um, but I don't know. They might have a count day coming up, so they might have to like flood my facility with kids for the next 4 months, so the state keeps funding them.
fun stuff.
Fun to stuff.
Fun
Hanging out
stuff.
with the media too much. Jesus Christ. Uh, so I look at that. We're not that far into the recording, and I think we've already made it through
Look at
the
this.
week.
Look at us.
God,
Who would've
we're so efficient. Holy shit.
Who would have thought?
What are we talking about this week, Michael?
Well, we kind of teased it last week, if you guys listened to that episode. But the day before we posted the episode with Nanny, the Wilderness rework was released, which is great. So no longer can you save spot or cheese or, just do anything old mechanics with the, yeah, give them a salute. You can't do any of the old mechanics with any of the old bosses because they've completely changed everything. And I, for one, like it. There's a lot we're going to get into, but disclaimer, I personally have not stepped into the wilderness yet. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, but I have watched a fair few people either on stream, on YouTube, or on Discord doing the content. So it's not like I've just been ignoring it. I've just been busy. And yeah, so Wilderness rework. Oxie has a little experience because he's a sucker for the wildy bosses. He loves Venonanus.
I do.
Yeah. So I guess initially, I can give my my thoughts to this because as we know, I just said it. I haven't done anything, so maybe I'll give my thoughts first, and then you can just correct me anywhere I'm wrong. How about that?
I don't like that. That's the tone, but okay, sure.
I'm not going to be wrong, but we'll see. So I think this was great. We were all kind of nervous about having the changes to these wildy bosses because the big thought was this is just going to encourage clans to like lock things down. I have devised a way that they potentially could do that, but I don't know. I mean, I personally haven't been out there, so I haven't seen it. But it's not as easy as we thought it was going to be. Originally, the idea was clans were just going to sit there and like protect you while you're killing it. The only way that they could potentially do that now is if they just hang out by the entrance and stop anybody from going in. But like you can brute force your way into it. It's not a foolproof lockdown method like they had with the Rev Caves where you log in, you're getting like, blasted by dark bows.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in the grand scheme, it's not going to be a thing where it's totally locked down because there's like multiple ways to get in. Like you can get in through the escape caves or you can get in through. You can't? Okay, this is where you correct me.
I've not seen a way that you can get in through the escape caves. That's actually the first place I went was the escape cave because I thought you could.
Okay, so with the escape caves, is it only people coming out of the boss lair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Huh.
You can enter the escape caves from any entrance, but as far as I'm aware, you pop out of the boss lairs in a random point in the escape caves. Point.
Okay.
I think we'll get to my experiences here in a bit,
but the mechanics of the actual bosses seem to be pretty solid. They're Venonanus or at least Spindle is kind of like Sarachnis in the wilderness, which is fine. I've seen a lot of people be able to kill Callisto, not Callisto, RTO. I've seen them be able to kill RTO fairly easy with range. You kind of just stand in a corner and protect from melee. But the one that I am excited is I saw, was it Davidas on YouTube killing Vedion? That looked so easy. That looked so, I don't know if it was Cavalerion or whatever his name is, or if it was actually Vedion, but it looked easy. Like the skeleton hellhounds, they only had 30 HP, and he was able to like time attacks to where as soon as dialogue came up, he was hitting it. It was a short clip, but it looked fairly doable. And the Vedion pet is actually pretty cool. It's one that you don't see very often because former Vedion just sucked so bad that nobody wanted to kill it. And it was in pretty deep wilderness. Like you had to run pretty, and it's not pretty deep, but like you were not below 30 wilderness where you could just tele out. So it made it hard, and it was a hot spot for PKing. So not a lot of people have the Vedion pet, but I think once this all cools down a bit and you get like 2 or 3 people in there, Vedion will be chef's kiss to kill. I already have my 50 KC already, so that's kind of a sad day. I just have to kill Venenatus now. But yeah, I don't know. I'm optimistic that this was a really good change without actually having done it. That's the caveat here. My opinion may change once I actually get in there and experience it. But like, I watched Davidas's, he's called A Friend on YouTube. I watched A Friend do it on YouTube, and he got like 500 RTO KC in like 3 days. And all he had to do was put an alt outside the cave so that he knew when somebody was coming in. Not that he was like trying to stop people from coming in. He just wanted to have eyes outside the cave. And then he stood by the exit. So like if a bunch of people were going to come in and try and kill him, he would just leave and then he could tele out or he could log out. So it seems like this will be good for PVM, and it's not totally a PKer's paradise, which I appreciate because that was my big worry, is that this was just going to be a slaughter fest, and like we weren't going to be able to do the content. But I really think that they've made this content actually doable, which is great. I talked for a long time and I need to drink of water. So Oxy, what are your thoughts here?
I mean, I of course have the good and bad, like I always do. I guess mixing things up and starting with the bad this week, so we don't end on a negative note. Singles plus is such a dog shit way of doing the encounter. It's so bad for at least the small bosses. I understand it, I get it, but it's so bad because the last week has just been World Hop Simulator. Every single day has been World Hop Simulator, and it's been so frustrating to try to find a world. And in an effort to prevent like easy PKs, you can't peek in the hole until you have 20 KC at the boss. The smaller bosses, Calvalerion or whatever, Spindle and RTO, you can't peek until you have 20 kills. And I don't know if that's how it is with the big bosses, because I have more than 20 kills of the big bosses. So I'd have to go test it out on the Iron to see. It is so annoying to try to find a world. Even
now, or was that just on day one?
I mean, this was like 2 or 3 days after. It's okay. We've been less than a week since the content has been. It came out on Wednesday. We're recording on Sunday. It's been hard to find a world, and that has been super frustrating. That is a problem with the design that I don't think is going to last forever. I am not a big fan of the singles plus mechanic because I'm a baby bitch PVMer, and I liked being able to PJ off other monsters to get PvPers to leave me alone. Because in the grand scheme of things, I want PvPers to have good stuff. When I'm actively being killed, they can go fuck themselves. They don't deserve anything. So I miss being able to PJ on monsters, but I understand why it was changed. I'm not mad about it. That it's a problem that's going to die away, not being able to find a world. Tyler in the recording booth chat said Elite Combat private rooms when. I don't think they're going to do that, only because I think that's going to take away from the point of them being in the wilderness, because I've only had experience killing Spindle because I haven't been able to get into the other 2 rooms, which has been annoying as shit. The other day, I think I tried for 40 minutes to get into RTO, and I couldn't even get in. I got so tilted, I just left. I'm like, I can't. I've hopped through 35 worlds to try to find some. I can't do this. I'm just going to Muspa.
And at that point, you're having to crash somebody, and that's also not great. It's kind of a dick move.
I mean, it's the wilderness though, so I feel like that's actively on the table. The problem I see with singles plus being a persistent issue. It's funny. We thought the multi-caves were going to be locked down by teams. We thought it was going to be Revenant Caves 2.0. We thought they were going to make the escape caves a bunch of little pissant baby monsters, and it wasn't going to matter. The escape caves beat the shit out of you. The monsters in the escape caves do not mess around. They're not they're not demonic gorillas like I had hoped. But they attack with 3 different combat styles. They inflict poison. They chase your ass through the caves. Like, they do not mess around in the escape caves. And that's good, because that means clans can't sit in the escape caves and hunt people down day in and day out. They can't do the Scorpion method where they flush you out with one person and there's 80 people outside waiting for you. That's a good thing. As far as the entrances are concerned for the big bosses, it might be an issue, but the fact that you pop out at the escape caves kind of, funny enough, from what I've seen so far, gives you some sort of an advantage. So I feel like if you run past PKers and you get into the encounter room and you're fighting and you realize you can't stay, you get into the escape caves, they're probably not going to be in those escape caves because they're going to be getting mobbed by enemies, which I hope don't have an aggro timer. I hope they're like dark beasts and just aggro you forever. I have not tested that out to know, but either way, I don't think it's particularly feasible to stay in there for an extended period of time because you are getting mobbed by all 3 styles and you can't protect against all of it.
And I would hope that they play tested it to where there's no safe spots. Like, I really hope that there's not one hidden tile or one obscure tile that you can stand on that you can log in and
everyone
out
can
of.
DD.
Yeah, that would. If Jagex did this content correctly, there shouldn't be any safe spots in there.
Again, I mean, it comes down to it's not Jagex's fault, it's the player's fault. The players are going to break it and find a way to mess it up. It's not that Jagex is an oversight, that just they're going to be the ones who fuck it up. That's not going to be as bad of an issue. The single combat caves, people are going to be paying for services day in and day out for those things. Because all you need is 3 people with a key above their head and nobody's coming in. And even if someone has the stones to try to get past the PKer, the minute they get into that arena, you just PJ them off. The only reason why I have KC at Spindle is because the day of release, I went with Ralph, and Ralph didn't want to kill the bosses. Ralph wanted to kill other people. So I gave Ralph a dragon crossbow and some ammunition and stuff. And I'm like, keep me safe then, King. And he got on 10 or 15 people in the same world. And I the mechanics of Spindle were fun, but I wouldn't have been able to sustain that had I not had somebody there constantly ragging other players who walked in. His whole goal, he was standing outside and bolt ragging people. And if they got in without him noticing, he ran inside the cave and started bolt ragging them. And all he had to do is pray against Spindle, because the boss does attack everyone in the room. It's singles plus, but the boss does not care and will attack everyone. In an effort to kind of help the player escape from the PvPer kind of thing.
Right.
That is going to be locked down and serviced so horribly, specifically for everyone's favorite group of players, Iron Men. Because you can get the Dragon Pickaxe, I'm pretty sure, from the smaller bosses. You can get all the weapon upgrades from the smaller bosses, and it's significantly safer and probably quicker to get it from the smaller bosses than it is from KBD or KQ. So if the Iron Men have a lot of money and are looking for something to get a Dragon Pickaxe quicker, they're going to hire 2 or 3 people to stand outside those caves and lock that shit down. Mains are going to do it for pet chance. Mains are going to do it for money. People are going to do it for gold farming. It's going to happen because this, funny enough, transitions into the good of these bosses. You're making good money right now because even with the small bosses, you can get the upgrades. The Web Weaver bow and the Earthsign chain mace, I'm pretty sure, I'll do a double check right here. Let's see. Earthsign chain mace is 67 mil, and the Web Weaver bow is 75 mil. Now, if we compare that to Vigora's, which is 13 mil, and Craw's, which is, I want to say 25? Craw's is 29. So the upgrades are pretty pricey, and those come from both variations of the boss. They're working on buffing the boss's drop table because, as they said in the live stream, they released them with a dog shit drop table because they didn't have the data for it. Because they've had the data for instance bosses like Muspa before, and they still released a drop table they felt they had to nerf. Because, again, I don't understand where that comes from. They explained it in the live stream pretty well, but I'm still just like, dog, there's no way you release a drop table.
To the live stream.
I did.
What'd they say?
They pretty much, it was Aiza, Goblin, and Kirby. And they pretty much said that, like, they have been collecting data on instance bosses since the release of Zulrah. And they have shitloads of data to determine what a good hourly rate is for money and what a good kill time is and this, that, and the other thing. And they can determine a drop table pretty well. But every time they still manage to make it too OP and they have to nerf it. Which, by the way, they snuck a nerf in.
They did.
They snuck a Muffspa nerf into this week's game update. So that's fun of them to do that. But this boss, they actually have to buff because they didn't have enough wilderness data. People were getting absolute shit loot. I think the big boss versions were dropping like 1 coin as a drop because it was like glitching out. So which they actually talked about in the live stream, adding that back as like make it the same rate as the pet and just give it like 1 coin on like a different drop table, which that would be pretty cool.
Troll.
That'd be pretty funny.
Oh no.
But they're working on buffing the table. So within the next probably week or two, we'll see some buff drop tables. So maybe the day before this episode comes out, so yesterday, maybe they've adjusted the drop tables to make them a little bit more appropriate. I think if you go to the big bosses, up to 15 people receive loot.
I think they nerfed it down to 10.
I thought they kept it at 15 because it was originally 5. They messed it up, and it was meant to distribute to 15, and they messed it up, and it was only doing 5, and then they changed it to 15. I don't see anything in the change log here.
Yeah, January 27th, players feel the regular boss loot for multi-combat bosses is underwhelming. So in the notes, it says they've increased the base loot quantity, and they've reduced the maximum number of players eligible for loot from 15 down to 10, allowing for better loot distribution overall. And they increase the amount of loot given from the minimum contribution. It's on, like, this is an ongoing change.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah. So yeah, this is gonna be
that may be what comes out on Wednesday, or they're still looking into that.
I mean, they're just gonna adjust the drop table for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The other problem I found with the big bosses is it's not like Nightmare. There's not like a mass world for these. Like, you have to have a team to go with.
That's true.
Which is kind of disappointing. You can solo them. But I don't know how to solo them because I soloed Venenatus 1,200 times by standing still, and I don't know how to solo the new big boss yet. So I kind of want to go in a team sometime, probably this week when it's died down a bit, which will be fun.
You know what makes me sad?
One
day my grandkids will say, "Grandpa, did you ever kill Venenatus in the wilderness before the rework?" And I'll say, "You know, kids, Grandpa never got to do that. Grandpa never figured out the safe spot. I never got to stand there and just kill Venenatus."
I have no sympathy. You had months to learn how to do it, Michael. You lost the Uno competition in September, my guy. You had months to learn.
I'm not even
years even.
I spent nearly 2 hours just trying to kill Venenatus with the safe spot before the rework. I failed so many times.
Dog. Okay,
it's not for not trying.
No, this is when we get to the tangential portion of XP waste. That is PVM. You try and you fail incessantly until eventually you get the run and it goes well. But I failed Venom. I spent a shitload of money on Death Coffer fees when I was learning the Venom safe spot because you have to be tick perfect and it was hard.
Yeah, it's
but
hard.
You know what? You keep practicing. You keep going out there and then you kill the boss 1,200 times because one time you get lucky and the boss is like low-ish health and you can reset it properly. And then that one time you finally get it right and it clicks, it's over. This is not a wilderness boss phenomenon. This is every single PVM encounter in the game. From Sarachnis up to hard mode Tob. You have to fail and you have to practice. That goes for you for every piece of content. That goes for everyone listening with every piece of content. If you want to do it well, you have to fail 10,000 times first. Just do it. Just fail and just keep going. Because at the end of the day, PVM encounters are not going to wipe your bank. 500k is annoying if you have max gear, but it's not like you don't lose your armor. It's just 500k. Like, yeah, I just fail and do it. Transitioning to the good, they have brought money back into the wilderness, which benefits everybody. So when monsters drop good money in the wilderness, PVMers are inclined to go out and kill them. And then shitter PKers think, hey, I'm going to kill the PVMers. And then actual PKers realize, hey, I'm going to have a lot more fun killing the PvPers. And we get a better ecosystem out in the wild. We have a more balanced set of encounters. And in a lot of ways, we have a way to maintain the value because there's going to be a group of people who are too afraid to go out to the wilderness. The amount of people I have met through doing this show that refuse to do wilderness content because they are too afraid to cross that ditch. A lot of people are not going to do the bosses ever at all. So it's not going to be like Vorkath or Zalra where they get, mobbed by other players, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's also going to be a group of people who are like, you want my stuff, you better fucking kill me. And they are going to sit there and they are going to either tank or they're going to anti-PK. And sometimes they're going to win and sometimes they're going to lose. It's going to make sure the prices for some of these items not only stays stable, but also goes up, because people need to buy them more, so they're in more demand, right? It's not going to make RMs back to 30 mil a set like it was back in 2005, right? I don't actually know if it was ever that much, but like, it's not going to make these things so ridiculously expensive, but it's going to help maintain value. And that's good. That is good. It helps. I'm not one to cater to Iron Men, but as a group Iron Man who may eventually have to go for a dragon pickaxe, I guess I can do it a little bit different now, which is interesting. Because before it was like, if you don't have a crossbow, you're going to be miserable at Venenatis. If you don't have full Verax for the safe spot, you're going to be miserable at Callisto. And then you just don't do Vedion, because the problem with Vedion wasn't that he hit too hard, was that he was in 30 plus multi-combat wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got frozen, it was like you needed to run, like, if you're at the south safe spot, you needed to run like 7 tiles to get to 30 and below. If you got frozen between where you were and those seven tiles, you're dead.
It's over.
Because there's 15 people coming after you. So
you're looking at Chaos Ellie. If you're an Iron Man, that was
which still sucks, because like there's no way out.
Yeah, it's true.
So now they've changed it, and now you get it from KQ, which like arguably isn't easier. Like I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't say that Calfight Queen is an easier solution than wilderness bosses.
Here's the thing with KQ though. People are already inclined to do it because of the diary. And there's 0 risk. So like either you get really lucky and you get the dragon pick on the way to getting the KQ head for the diary, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Pet chance. There's just like that, adding that to that loot table gives that boss even more of a reason to do it. And once you get the head, that just makes the kills even better if you still haven't gotten the pick. So,
I mean,
it probably is how we'll get it on our group Iron Man, to be honest with you.
It does. Well, I mean, Calfight Queen is no small feat. Calfight Queen is still kind of a bitch to kill. We went last night in a mass. We played the wheel game again for like 20 minutes before everyone was like, I want to play something else. And the first thing we landed on was Calfight Queen. And we all went in like Verac. Well, most of us wore Veracs and like, Karases or whatever. And just killed the boss. And we were still getting hit for like 30s.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a big group of people. And people are like, can someone please trade me food? I'm out of food. We were there for 2 kills. People are already running out of food. So KQ is still going to smack the shit out of you. So Iron Men, have fun. It has significantly affected the price of the Dragon Pickaxe. It's gone from like 7.5 down to like 4.3.
Yeah.
Which is not great for the value of the Dragon Pickaxe. But I'm a main account, and I'm relatively indifferent about Iron Man changes because, like, I don't give a shit if it's easier or harder for you. It sucks, but like, I'm not gonna grind KQ for the pet because I hate that pet. And I don't care about the green log. And I have the Diary Cape, and I have an extra head for a Slayer helmet recolor. So I have effectively completed KQ. I'm done. I don't need to ever go back.
You mentioned like paying services in the wilderness to get Dragon Pick. There's already a KQ service where it's 0 damage and you just literally stand there and kill it. So that could be a viable option for anybody at this point who wants a Dragon Pick, but mainly Iron Man. I don't know if the Iron Man strat is if other people take damage, you don't get the loot. That would be the only thing that could mess that up. But there's people who just soak the damage. So we'll have to see. They may update that to where, Iron Man can't hire somebody for KC anymore. I'm not an Iron Man, so anybody out there, Tiki's in the recording booth chat today, so he's our resident Iron Man professional. So he can let us know.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. I mean, I think overall it's a good change to the wilderness. I think there are some frustrating elements, and I think other than the singles plus cave protection bullshit, that's the only long-term problem that's going to come from this. Is that it's long-term effectively instanced protection if you pay people for it. And people are going to pay because unlike Chaos Elemental and Crazy Archaeologist, the 3 bosses are actually worth killing for financial gain.
Yeah.
Or for a necessary item upgrade. So like, have fun getting to those bosses eventually. I think we're going to have issues with that in the singles area. Otherwise though, I don't see a whole lot. The escape caves, I'm very impressed with. I will be the first to admit I was wrong with my predictions that they're going to be absolute dog shit, rot 2.0 Rev Caves nonsense. I'm pleasantly surprised I was wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm overall optimistic. There are some stains in this update, but I mean, what can you do? Nothing's perfect. I imagine once they buff the loot and when the loot is where they are happy with each boss, it might be a bit more viable to send people out. And I said the other day that now we can actually put wilderness content on the bingo boards and people don't have to bitch and moan about I want to go to the wilderness.
I'm excited.
Now we can do all sorts of wilderness content.
Listen, Springo is going to have Muspa. It's going to have the new wilderness bosses. It's going to be great.
Wilderness only bingo, baby. Let's go. We tried that once. It was a terrible decision.
It's a terrible idea.
It was a terrible idea. Only wildy. Everyone's going to bitch and moan, and we're going to do it because now you don't have an excuse. I'm so excited. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that's where I'm sitting with this new update.
Let me ask you this. With all of the bad and good considered into one little package, nicely,
Mhm.
packaged up with a bow. Take that on one side, and then think about the way that it used to be. Do you think that you would ever want it back the way it used to be?
Absolutely not. It's no
Okay,
contest. It's
that's
there's
good.
no the kills were easier, but that's because it was broken. Like,
Right.
okay, let's say you can go to Vorkath, but if you stand on a specific corner tile, Vorkath never attacks you. Is Vorkath more fun that way? Or is Vorkath eventually boring?
Yeah. It's
Is
boring.
is is Vorkath eventually like, man, this is not an engaging mechanic, right? And if you've never killed Vorkath before, or you were too afraid to go to Ungale for some reason, right? It might be a little bit more comforting to know that Vorkath isn't going to hurt you. Vorkath isn't who you have to worry about, right? But once you get to the point where you're actually playing the game, you don't want to just not have any mechanics in a boss. You don't want to just sit there and do nothing. And then it wasn't even like the bosses would not damage you outright. You had to finagle them in weird ways. You either had to be tick perfect at Venenatis, or you had to drag Callisto and Vedion up and down the street to get them where you needed to go, so they wouldn't move and they wouldn't attack you. I don't think they were good in that previous format at all. And
Yeah.
I'm very glad that they've changed them. So,
Right.
I mean, yes, I got a pet. I got a green log at Venenatis. I loved doing that boss. It was my favorite, like, wilderness bingo activity. Again, 1200 KC. It's good. It was fun. And now I don't have to do it, and that's fine. Like, we actually get to do the boss. It's not a matter of now we have to kill the boss, now we get to kill the boss. That, for me, it's a positive change. As the wilderness killer here of the two of us, there's no contest. I don't think I would ever go back to the old method ever.
Right. It's like it's a new generation of these monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I got to experience the old ones. I still have fond memories of going with my friend. I forget his name because this was like in 2017, but he took me to Callisto and we killed it with Verax. Like that was an experience that I have and that I'll hold on to. But now it's a new generation of mechanics, and it's a new generation of this game. And I think it's good. I think that the rework kind of fits what the vibe of the game is now, with the way that they've made the boss rooms. They've made it not a slaughter fest, but it's still risky, because at the end of the day, it is the wilderness, and you have to remember that. Like, they didn't just want to make these bosses no risk and like say, okay, they're in the wilderness, but like you can't die. Like, you can enter the cave from the Ferox Enclave and you'll never be. No, this is the wilderness. There's inherent risk, and there's going to be people hunting you. So take all of the update and have that mindset with, hey, there's risk because that's how it was intended. But it's not broken, There's no safe spots. There's no cheesing these things. Yes, you can take 35 people into Venenatis or Callisto or Vedion and absolutely smack them. But like that's how it was designed. You could do that before, but you're still gonna get wrecked. All to say, yes, I agree. I really like this update. I had reservations. My expectations weren't the highest, but I think after really looking into it, and you say you're the resident wilderness guy. Like, this may push me now to be the wilderness guy. I'd be like, hey guys, let's go to Venenatis on a Tuesday afternoon. Who knows? I have wanted to go and kill them. It's just like, when I feel like I have free time to dedicate to playing the game, it's the freaking weekend. It's just kind of how it is with a 9-to-5 job and a family. And that's kind of the sucky part about everybody else having the weekend off and it being a PK hotspot on the weekends, is that it's really hard to get into the wilderness when it's not like a slaughter fest. So I'll try and figure out a weekday that I can go.
Go on the weekend. How about this? Go on the weekend, get a team of 8 or 10 people, and bring your black d'hide, your Nezi helm, and then bring a crossbow or a Vigoras. I've been telling people, if you want a basic setup, you take a ring of suffering, a crossbow or a Vigoras chain mace, and an amulet that corresponds to whatever you took. So an anguish or a blood fury. Blood fury goes burr with melee, right? That's what you want to do, right? Because those 3 items are going to be protected. You're not going to lose those. If you have PK Skull Prevention turned on, you're not going to lose any of those items. You will be safe with those 3. As long as you're not in a high-risk world and you're not skulled, right? Then, black d'hide, Nezi helm, a boot that corresponds to the style. So, a climbing boot or like a snakeskin boot. You know, if you got that money, maybe you can bring a god d'hide boot for accuracy. Bring rune gloves or Barrows gloves if you got money to spare. Barrows gloves are good everywhere. You won't be taking an offhand. Take a range cape or an accumulator, not the blue one, the gray one. Or if you have 99 range, take a range cape because it's an assembler and you don't lose a Vorkath head. Which, side note, if you guys didn't know, when you use the Vorkath head on the range cape, it will always have the Vorkath head effect. So once you put the Vorkath head on the range cape or the max cape, you'll always have like a permanent assembler. You won't get the damage boost, but you will get the pickup effect of all the ammunition. Or, I mean, like, I'm going to say this, take this with a grain of salt. Depending on what you are using, you can use a myth cape or you can use a fire cape. Because if you, I have like 10 fire capes in my bank. If I lose one, I'm not too worried about it. If you only have one, take like a Legends cape, take an Artie cloak,
Artie
take
cloak
a myth
would probably
cape.
be good. Yeah.
Well, it's not beneficial for stab because you don't stab the bosses. The Vigoras is crush, so that's why I say myth cape, or fire cape. But you can't you imbue it? I don't know what you're talking about for imbuing. But you can't imbue any cape. But at least I don't think you can imbue any cape. You can put the Trover parchment on and protect it. You can like put it, but that's like 800k to protect it. The only thing I have trovered in my bank is my Infernal Cape, but I'm never taking my Infernal Cape into the wilderness until I have as many Infernal Capes as I have Fire Capes. I'm not taking it out there.
How does the Trover parchment work?
It protects the item. So what it will do is it will, if you die with it above 30 wilderness, it will return to your inventory, but it will be broken, and you'll have to pay to fix it.
And then you have to re-trover it?
Yes, you have to spend the another 800k to protect it again.
Wow, okay. So I was thinking like I could do that with my max assembler cape, but it like if you have the trover, you said you die, you don't lose it, even if you're above 20 or even if you're above the threshold where it would normally just turn into coins.
I don't actually know. I don't know if the Trover Parchment works on max cape variants. So that might be something to look into. If somebody, I know a couple of you guys here in the recording booth chat are maxed. If you guys know if that works, let us know. Either let us know in the recording booth chat now as we're recording, or let us know in the Xpwaste chat when this episode comes out if you can trover like assembler max capes or infernal max capes, because I genuinely don't know. So take that setup, but the setup I've been very slowly describing, but in the ammo slot, take Dragonstone Bolts E. Runite Dragonstone Bolts E. Dragonstone Bolts, when they proc, have a Dragonfire effect that will absolutely fuck the shit out of people because most of the time they're not protecting against Dragonfire. They don't normally prepare for that.
Right.
So Dragonstone Bolts E are the play. Just take a one-way rune crossbow switch. And if you got 8 people in there bolt ragging PKers, a couple of you might die, but bolt ragging is so ridiculously powerful. It's not a one bang, but like a bolt rag is consistent damage. Yeah. Like it's very hard to out eat 8 people bolt ragging. It really is hard to do that. You don't have to take claws or freezes. You don't have to take venge. You can be a little spicy and take a DDS in case you really just want to insult them, right? Mm-hmm. But truly, you don't need a ton of big switches to go out there with your friends, or go out there. So if you're at like Spindle or RTO, just bring a rune crossbow and bolt rag them back. Bolt rag them as you're running. If you're TB'd and you're willing to stand and fight, bolt rag them. Dragonstone bolts E and a rune crossbow. You don't need a dragon crossbow. You don't need a Zarite crossbow. It's a one-way switch to keep you and your squad protected. Because frankly, if I'm going with 2 people and we're going to try to kill someone at Venenatis, it's kind of like how wolves attack certain animals. When wolves attack deer, they all run and they eventually kill a deer. When wolves attack musk ox and the ox stand and fight back, sometimes the wolves don't get anything and they have to leave. So if you're there with 9 people and they walk in and you all just put your rune crossbows up and start bolting them with the dragonfire procs, they're going to leave. You're going to have that world.
The downside is you're going to skull because you're attacking them.
Not if they attack you first.
They're not attacking all of you at once. You know what I mean?
Then, if that's the concern, bring a Ring of Dueling and bring an Amulet of Glory and bring your weapon and make it your +1 to protect. And then if someone comes in, you bolt rag the shit out of them. Because the minute someone walks in, if you guys... And that right there is how you establish dominance in a world.
True.
That's not paying for protection. That's not illegal. Locking down a world for an evening is not the same thing as paying other people to protect you for weeks at a time. Yeah. Like the problem with the Revenant Caves. If you get 7 or 8 buddies and you all go out and you skull up with rune crossbows and a +1 item protect, and you're going to kill Callisto or Vedion, and the minute someone walks in, you kill him immediately. Good.
I never knew it. They never knew it.
That's a fun night with your friends, right? There's a difference between what we talk about with our concerns of like Revenant Caves and like having fun with your friends and anti-PKing, or maybe PKing. I don't know, because like it works both ways. If you get 6 friends out there and you just have range and you bolt rag the shit out of one person who's trying to kill Venenatis, you're gonna kill them. Maybe you go out and try a little PKing. Overall, I think this is a remarkably good update for the wilderness. It has its problems, and I am very concerned about the single combat bosses. At least for the protection wise. Mechanically, the bosses I have fought are fun. And eventually I'll be able to fight them all more fully when it's not World Hop Simulator every single day. So,
well, I think that's a good place to call it for this one. If you guys want to keep listening to us, stick around after the break, where we'll have more content for you. But see you guys soon.
Hey, I'm the guy that sits I'm the guy that sits real far away. Not a lot of people come around here, but my name is, don't worry about my name. We don't do names here. You come here, you give me what I want, I give you what you want, alright? And we don't ask questions. I have a lot of bones. You don't ask me where I got the bones from. I don't ask you what you need with the bones. And that's how this works, alright? We don't ask questions, alright? You come in, you give me money, I give you bones. Human bones, animal bones, dog bones, any sort of bone. But on the one proviso, you don't ask me where I got the bones, and I don't ask you what you need with the bones. Alright? You look me in the eye. Because if you don't accept that, we're gonna have a problem. You wanna know my name? You can call me Dan. I'm Dan the Bone Man. That's all you need to know. Alright? And then when we're done, you never met me. I never met you, alright? This never happened. I don't know who you are, alright? Good. Now get the f*** out of here.
welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. It's now the point of the show where we give a little shout out to our patrons who support us on Patreon. And every week, we're going to shout out the Wise Old Man tier, KBD tier, because you guys are awesome. So without further ado, give a big shout out to and a big thank you to the Wise Old Man tier, starting with 10,000 Slugs, Arionyx, a guy named Spari, Escape Caution, Ambu to Plug, Elagio, Armadillo, Polymer, Basket, Pork Jerry, Bofides Nuts, Bradley B, Bronzione, Casper J, Chris, Hadadbot, Christian V, Cole, C. Gladney, Cream Tam, D4 Drake, Daniel K, Dean R, Dean 709, Drink and Bleach, Drum TXT, Duke Bradley, DWZK, D Falconer, Farmer Isaac, Fortimus, Francine 1225, Hoofhearted, I'm a Great Guy, Fear, Jack M, Jake, aka Deathbeds, Jake W, Jerry, John Pounder, John S, Joan K, Kevin B, Chaos Bane, So Close Kyle, Potato Pancake, Posh Padre, Magmorpheus, Miyamo Poppy, Migroll, Mike Ox, very normally sized, Mima, Moist Sean, Mud, born from the mud, Nasty MFer, Nick Minack, 999, Ninja Turtle Ruby, Obsidian Paladin, Old Mate Dale, Old Nikia, Okami Damashi, Outfox, Ice, Paulo, Purple Knight, Are You Swole, Real Crazy, Reclinatus, Root Tigger 35, Rust of Fury, Ryan G, Salted Snail, Shadow, Skalaxin, Sholdveg, Slayoxus, Solaire OS, Submediant, Swain RS, Taco Ninja, Tankneek, Taylor O, The Chungaroo, The Rep Dog, THG Bang, Thormac, Tiger Guy, Tiki Mug, Troll, The T-Pace Tyler, Tiscal Hippo, Underwear, Valdon, and Weird Panda 1. Thank you so much, everyone in the Wise Old Man tier. You guys continue to blow our minds with how many of you there are. We appreciate every single one of you. Now it is time to shout out the KBD tier. Thank you so much, and in a warm, lovely, ginormous thank you and shout out to you all in the KBD tier, starting with Brokes70, Oxie's dad, my dad, all of our dad. Hi, Dad. Cloud Kicker, Dicky Bird, Evasive Ebu, GIM Stones, Impy Jones, the Lord Jake himself, Mark, aka iSteam, Rylithian, SatanBot 666, Soggy Waffles, Seth Shep, Skooma92, Spartan Fire, The Big G Jordy, The Crayola Crayon, and Toast No Toast. If you would like to support us, you can do so by heading over to patreon.com/XPWaste, and you can join it any tier that we have. $1, $5, $10, $25. Any tier that fits your budget. We appreciate it. It's not a requirement, but we will definitely appreciate you. If you have signed up in the past and you did so for t-shirts, just know we are making massive headway. We should have an update soon. Things have been finalized and we are very excited. So stay tuned for that. We know it has not been the quickest process, but neither Oxie nor I have ever done anything like that. So we're learning just as much as it's been a process, and we're learning. So we'll have those soon. And hey, if we do something like this in the future, you boys know we got to get things moving before and have things ready sooner. We know that now. Anyway, it is time now for everyone's favorite section of the podcast, the community question. And last week, we so graciously asked each and every one of you the question that's been on everybody's mind all week. Brumby? Starting with our Spotify replies, Austin says, Brumby. Groach says, gotta turn my phone up again. Oi, bloke, the Brumby be coming to lay your eggs for brekkie. I'm not kidding you.
That. I don't like that at all.
They formatted it upside down. So that's I literally they found upside down font and I had to turn my phone upside down.
Oh my god.
Judeheim says, this is the cursed episode I needed this week. Yeah, no, please, OSRS Brumby boss. Migroll says, Migroll here, and not Brumby.
Oh, okay. A little bit of a controversial take, I see.
Yep. James says, Ikendandis. I'm not going to edit any of this because this is literally me trying to sound out this word. Ekhendis, which in parentheses just says mammals, lay eggs as well.
Echidnas.
Yes, we established that.
Oh, he's talking about, okay, the kind of mammals, the echidnas.
Echidnas.
Echidnas or echidnas. I don't actually know how to pronounce it. I think it's echidnas. I think they're like mole something. God, now I gotta look it up. Hold on. Echidnas. They're like Christ. Okay, they're like little porcupine shits.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. They're spiny anteaters or quill-covered monotremes, egg-laying mammals belonging to the family Tachyglossidae. So I don't know what is a relative of the echidna. It looks like they're spiky anteaters. These things are weird. But no, they're yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Echidnas. Thank you.
Echidnas, they also
mammals,
have
they
a four-tipped penis.
What? Okay. Charlie says, yena. Scotty says, Brumby with a side of shrimp on the barbie. Why are we eating Brumby? Sitting Rat says, 1v1 me in the wildy with your best gear. I'm trained Navy SEAL prepared for battle and a black belt in karate. I've won every Pokemon duel as a kid and I have a Barrett 50 cal for fingers. GL me noob.
This guy basically said you're disrespecting a future U.S. Army soldier from that Xbox Live video. I know it's sarcastic, but like...
Real Crazy says, please add Brumby boss to OSRS. Okay. Nathan G says, in the text-to-speech. And I'm going to actually add text-to-speech to this one. So here you go. Have a listen.
Text-to-speech UURR. This was a fever dream. IDK if Michael expected exactly how unhinged this would be. Oxie looked like he'd enjoy her content, but only through a screen. Bork.
Nice. And finally, Mima. Brumby on Australian Indian Vilhisuchu. Ilmestres Hevosit Australian. He put this in freaking Finnish. I don't read this language, my guy.
No. Keep going. You're doing great.
I feel like that's a little insensitive for me to just try it. It's not phonetically spelled either. So
you're not it's not you're not making fun of the Finnish
Mima,
language.
I'm gonna unmute you.
as a point, as a general point, if you're not blatantly trying to be like, haha, look at the Finnish, it's not insensitive. Trying to read something, if you have some idea of the phonetic, like the way it's supposed to be said, doesn't make you a problematic person. If I knew how symbols in like Chinese or Japanese sounded, I could try to pronounce something.
Sure.
And even if I pronounced it very poorly, it's not me being a racist piece of shit because I don't speak the language, right? It's an attempt. Just like with PVM, you gotta try it, you gotta fail, and the next time Mima puts a response in Finnish to be an asshole, you have a better chance of reading it correctly.
Okay. So then I will actually sound this out for you guys. And forgive me if we get canceled for this. Brumby on Australian Alien in Vilhvarstruvutu is similicet hisvet hisoset illistelinton Australian in Viona 1788. Naiden Villishistovisten Kiroetin Sanin Nimenasana Somas Sodamais James Brumbista. James Brumbista. Thank you, everyone. That is all of the replies on Spotify.
That's the last one, too.
And now I will read our YouTube replies. Nathan said, listen to audio only on Spotify. Watching this one time 1.5 speed into see reactions makes this a hell of a lot more chaotic. Hanani says, Brumby.
Good answer.
Nathan. What?
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer. This is like a Family Feud. Good answer. Nathan adds also Bork. Seth says a Brumby is a free-roaming feral horse in Australia. Although found in many areas around the country, the best-known Brumbies are found in the Australian Alps region. Today, most of them are found in the Northern Territory, with the second largest population in Queensland. A group of Brumbies is known as a mob or a band. P.S. Brumby. I feel like I should have read that in a British accent so that it's like a National Geographic's voiceover. OG Scuba says, a Bilby? A Bilby. Interesting. THG Bang says, a feral horse that has a luscious mane, but the mane doesn't compare to Oxie's chest hair.
I don't have that much chest hair. I'm not a very hairy person. You could it's truly not that, you can see them, but
it's not that luscious. I feel like I have more chest hair than
yeah.
Oxie. And you guys aren't going to see it. Carl says, what of it? With like an attitude, you know what I mean? What of it? And finally, William says, yes. Thank you so much to everyone who did answer the community question this week from last week, which was we just had a little glimpse of the unhinged enter this episode, which I love. If you would like to answer this week's question, it is, what are your thoughts on the Wilderness rework, good or bad? You can answer that question on the community question section on Spotify, or, if you so fancy, the pin comment on this YouTube video. Oxie, I think it is your time to talk, because I am done talking.
I do believe it is. Somebody made a Photoshop of Michael, his face, over a horse.
Oh, gosh.
In the recording booth chat, and it's called it Brumby.
You didn't even flip it, Tyler? Come on, dude.
There's also a Brumby emote. There's like a Brumby something that's been going around. I don't know if we've made it an emote yet, but people have been calling for it. So who knows? Perhaps in the near future. But it do be my time to talk. I do be speaking quite a bit in this section here coming up. It's Achievement of the Week time, folks. It's one of my favorite sections of the show. We shout out all you guys' awesome stuff that you have done throughout the course of the week. It's been a busy week, particularly in skilling, but every other thing has some categories as well. So starting from least achievements to most achievements by mass, like the amount of people who did stuff.
Right.
We start off with the miscellaneous category, which, as always seems to be the least full, because miscellaneous, there's just a few things we kind of squeeze in there. So, receiving their first quest cape this week, we have Goose, False Doggo, and Night Breeze, which is one of the guys from Dorks and Daggers. Is it Lance Nightbreeze? Is that his character's name?
Yeah.
I know his real name, which I don't know if we're gonna say his real name, but that's one of the Dorks and Daggers guys. Got his quest cape this week, and it was a subtle flex that he did it before one of his friends, which I imagined was De La Gente. So I think he beat De La Gente to a quest cape, but it seems De La Gente is gonna beat him to a max cape, given how quickly he's skilling. And then Mech NG got his diary cape this week, so hype. Iron with a diary cape now. It's pretty awesome. Moving up to the combat section, this time for real. I'll double check the Discord to make sure. I'm just gonna make sure, because last time I said it, I was mistaken. But this time I am unfortunately correct. No one has received their first fire cape this week.
Oh,
no
no.
First fire capes. In addition to that, no first Zulras. So it's a bit, no first fire cape, no first Zulra, swear to God. So, but we do have people who have done stuff though. Eldrin got their first Gauntlet KC. That's good. Gauntlet is a fun boss to do, and he got the kill, and the first thing he said was on to hard mode, which is probably corrupted. So you start grinding corrupted Gauntlet, that's money right there. So I have been interrupted and informed that I am not only wrong but also stupid. Okami Damashi got their first Zulrah kill this week. When I was looking through the images, I saw the hard task completion at the bottom of the thing, and just like GZ'd it and kept scrolling because I didn't realize what the hard achievement was. Turns out the hard achievement was killing Zulrah. So congratulations to you, Okami. Continuing on though, hopefully this time without any more interruption. Slim Jim, who we'll be hearing from here in a little bit, received his Missouri kit. Our boy Shadow completed the Hard Combat Diaries. And then we have not one, but 2 Infernal Capes this week.
Whoa.
Like I said, we'd hear more from him. Slim Jim, after several months of attempts, got his first Infernal Cape, as did Hangry Hippo. So we have 2 new Infernal Capers in our ranks. Good day. Hello. Congratulations. You can finally enjoy PVM again. Have fun. So yeah, big congratulations to the both of them. And then moving on to skilling. We got a lot of 99s. We always do, but like, man, we got a lot of 99s this week. Darkstar 6551 got 99 cooking. Eldrin, making his second appearance on Achievement of the Week, got 99 cooking. Antics got 99 wood cutting. Tacomanian has got 99 attack. Cam got 99 range and 99 strength in the silliest way possible. So we did a corp mass last Tuesday, kind of like off the cuff, not really planned. People just sort of showed up and did corp. But we didn't really announce it. We're just sort of in VC killing corp. I got a bolt drop, so people knew where we were, right? Well, again, wasn't a secret. Anyone can show up. So Cam shows up, doesn't join VC, doesn't say a word, and then, oh, look at that. Someone just got Tim Meccan's Guardian. Hype. And then without saying anything, Cam walks in and gets 99 strength. And then leaves after the kill. It doesn't stay for the corp mass. And then 5 minutes later got 99 range. I want to say in Lumbridge, I think. That's what the screenshot was. But yeah, so Cam got a very interesting 99 strength at the corp mass. Bat Faster got 99 Hunter and 99 Mining, and is rapidly approaching a max cape. Corey
Nice.
S received 99 cooking. Caper, the clan mom, got 99 range. Smoothlu, who has auto-corrected to smoothly on docs twice now, 2 weeks in a row. Smoothlu got 99 farming and 99 cooking. Jake AICSTP is finally out of hell and has completed 99 mining. He's done. 99 mining confirmed. And now he's doing agility because that's our skill of the week. Rosgin got 99 range. Consume Shrek got 99 fletching. Taco Dog got 99 fletching as well. Lemonian got 99 wood cutting. And Huntsman Australia, I guess the name is, got 99 farming. There's one final achievement of this Achievement of the Week, which I imagine is not a secret to anyone at this point because there's a shit ton of people there yesterday. I think we had like 55 people on the VC was our record or something like that.
Wow.
Our dear friend Jamie got 99 agility and finally achieved 2277 total level. After months of sitting on like 2275, she got her Infernal Cape and was like, right, time to finally max the account. And she did within the week, just like we said she would last week.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you, Jamie. Enjoy your new Max Cape. Enjoy all its perks. Enjoy RuneScape again. How does that sound? Enjoy RuneScape and have fun playing the game again. That about wraps up Achievement of the Week. If you did something awesome and you want to be shouted out for it, head over to our Discord. There's a link in the description down below or wherever the description is on Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you listen to this podcast. Discord.gg/OSRSTNL. That is such a weird tongue twister every time I have to say it, and I almost tripped over it this time, but I didn't. But in any case, head over to Discord, check that out. Post whatever achievement you have. Whether I say it every week, whether it's an Infernal Max Cape or 1500 total level or base 60s, we don't care. We want to see the cool shit that you guys do. We want to see the cool drops that you get. We want to see all the cool stuff you're doing in game and in real life. Like, it's fun to see that stuff. Like, engage with the community, with us. That is what makes this game as fun and as sustainable as it is for all of us, is interacting with one another on that level. So come hang out and post things in our Discord. And then if you post something, you might get shouted out on Achievement of the Week. So, no, consider it. Michael, I do think it's fun question time.
It is fun question time, my dear Oxie. And we pulled this one straight from the recording booth chat. I said, we need a fun question, serious answers only. And they did not disappoint. So Jake, who never gets shouted out for his achievements, will be shouted out today. Jake, aka Deathbeds, procurer, the word's hard, procurer of guests, would like to ask, you and a boss have to do a cooking show. That's all he said, so I'll expand on it. What boss is coming on the show, and what are you cooking? I have one. It's probably boring, but that's why we have you.
You have to have a little bit more faith in your fun question answers, Michael. It's like the third or fourth week in a row you've gone, well, I have an answer, but it's probably boring. Your ass motherfucker. Come on. Your answer's probably quite good. Have a little bit of faith in yourself. God damn.
Okay, so my answer is the cooking show is actually the cooking show is not relevant. The boss that I'm inviting on the cooking show is going to be Kraken, huge monster. But the only reason I want Kraken is because it has a lot of different arms, and it can do a lot of different things all at once. So then I just have to kind of stand there and basically e-girl dinner, and Kraken is going to go and like have one arm cutting, the onions. Another arm's going to be flipping the ground beef. We're going to make some sort of stew, like a beef stew.
Mm-hmm.
But, normally you would think Kraken, it's going to prepare fish, but no, beef stew. Brumby stew, actually. Brumby stew.
Okay.
And then I don't know, like it has tentacles, right? But then it has other tentacles that come out of the water. Have you ever noticed that? Like Kraken is a whole boss with like actual tentacles, but then the other ones are kind of just coming out as well. Are those somehow longer tentacles that are just like attached at the bottom and you don't see them? So they, like, what's the word?
Maybe those are its predatory tentacles that it uses to grab things and pull them in, while the other tentacles are just for like latching and killing. It's like the main four grab things from far away and pull them in. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh my gosh. Submediant says, wow, no, Michael was right. That was boring. I'll just see myself out.
Don't do that, Submediant. Don't do that. Well, Michael's gone, so I'm soloing podcasting, I guess. Oh, look at that. He's back.
This is my show, Submediant. Alternatively, I don't have another boss. I'm trying to look at trying to look at the side panel here, and like, you could go with like Crazy Archaeologist, and he's just shouting things at you the whole time, and he's like, learn to read, and throwing books at your head while you're trying to make a little apple pie or something. But that would actually be interesting. Very confrontational guy who's just like yelling at you, telling you're doing it all wrong, but not offering any assistance, just like throwing things at you.
I've done chambers with people like that before, and it sucks.
Yeah, no, not good. What do you got for us, Oxie?
I do want to point out that Trillo in the recording booth chat, I'm inviting Zilly, let me cook, and I would 100% make dinner for Commander Zilliana.
But this is a cooking show.
I don't care. I had a joke, and I'm going to hold on to it because that's not the kind of podcast that we are. You guys could use your imagination of where I'm going with that. I'll gladly make dinner for Commander Zilliana. No, but I have a theme because I can't pick one boss. I want to pick a boss and then cook something of that similar species. So like Bryophyta, we're making salad. Kriara, we're making roasted chicken, but like full chickens. We're taking the whole thing, putting them on a rotisserie, seasoning them up. We're gonna slow cook them for a while, right? Muspa escargot, motherfucker. We're making we're making all sorts of good stuff with that. I've never tried bugs on a stick, but if I was making dinner with Scorpia, I would figure out how to make it happen. I would do it.
Scorpion
Phoenix would
is
be
a
really
delicacy.
good. Phoenix would be really good for like roasted chicken.
Yeah.
I think Phoenix and Kriara, we have the best luck with like the best tasting food, you know? Nex is not a bird. You can't convince me Nex is a bird. I'm not going to let that happen. As far as like, I'm trying to think of like other bosses that you fight, trying to think of like other, you know, I'm not 100% sure because I'm trying to think of like quest bosses as well. The Rock from the one quest, that might make a good, you know, that's just another bird though. Where it's just all birds, only
Dwayne
birds.
The Rock Johnson?
Not the stupid farming quest. Of course, first thing someone does is post the picture of the Rock with like the eye raise thing.
Listen, I think one of these days I need to screen record the recording booth chat and just have it in the corner on the YouTube video. I think that would be hilarious. No! Stop saying that word. Now they're cursing.
But okay, I mean other bosses. All right. So hear me out. Y'all ever had fruta de mare or like a good surf and turf?
From McDonald's,
You know,
yeah.
From okay. All around me are familiar faces. The Dagannoth Kings live kind of underwater, right? Like that's a
They're
boss.
dinosaurs, Oxy.
Obviously they're dinosaurs, but like they live in like a briny, watery environment. You think they could make
Right.
good seafood? Because
Oh,
theoretically, right, when you're living in that kind of aquatic environment, they wouldn't be carnivorous in the sense that they hunt other people. They'd probably be pescivores. Like, surely, right?
Right, spindles are probably delicious, or whatever they're called. The little guys that shoot.
Spinal
Major
lips?
Spinal
Yeah,
lips,
I mean,
yeah.
that could be, yeah. I'm trying to think of like, oh god, other bosses as well. I mean, I've never had gator jerky, but anything to get Mutadial out of my life forever, I might try that. That would be good.
When I was young, we went to Florida and
Mhm.
visited like Gatorland or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And my picky young child self literally cried because I didn't want to try alligator. And my brother and my mom were like eating it off the stick. They're like, it tastes just like chicken. I'm like, no, I don't want it. Now looking back, I'm like, I would 1000% eat that. 1000%.
I have tried alligator. I have tried it. All right. My ex and I went on a trip to a city in Michigan called Traverse City. And on the way back, there's this Cajun restaurant that she was like losing her shit over at the time. She loved it. It was like one of her long-term restaurants that she loved going to as a kid. We went there and like Cajun in northern Michigan don't necessarily make sense all the time, but I tried roasted gator, something. It was a little appetizer. I'm like, dude, I gotta try the gator. And frankly, it wasn't too bad. It was a little spicy for my Casper White ghost self, but you know, it wasn't too bad, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, looking at the bosses on the high score sheet right now, I think roasted chicken with Phoenix and Kriara, escargot with Muspa, or salad with Bryophyta would be my go-to.
I'm just so interested why you choose to have them as a guest on the show, but then you essentially make a dish out of them.
Give me some drops and I might change the menu.
Blackmail them. Just straight blackmail them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, next time we talk, next time I kill you, drop something. And I won't kill you now. I won't eat you right now.
Psychological warfare,
Man,
baby.
that is messed up.
Wait, hold
I
on.
was
If it's
just
for the
having to
drop,
have
if it's
fun.
for the drops, though, I'm not inviting Phoenix because Wintertot is green logged. I have 153 KC. You might as well just fucking kill me if you expect me to go back to Wintertot on my main. It's not happening.
Oh man, one of these days I'm gonna get a blowpipe on the group Iron Man, and that will be a great day.
I mean, I'll go back to on my groupie, but I'm never going back on my main.
Yeah. You'll just see me like in the chat, Michael has received Tanzanite Fang. It's gonna be great. I think that does it for the community. That does it for the fun question, everyone. Thank you, Jake, aka Deathbeds, for that question. If you want to give us a fun question to use for the show, there are 2 to 3 ways to do it. 1 is posting in the Discord. 2, you can email us or DM it to us, kind of the same thing. Or 3, you can send me a postcard. I would love to receive your postcard. If you send me a postcard, the address to our P.O. Box is in the description. P.O. Box 634, Haslet, Texas, 76052. And we will read your question and whatever you write on the postcard, as long as it's not vulgar. But why would you post, like, why would you write something like that? It's going to go through the mail and like I put on my wall. Anyway, behind me here is the postcard wall. Behind Oxie is a postcard wall. So if I ever feel like my postcard wall is getting too crowded, I'll send him some.
Yeah, I'll get his sloppy second postcards.
I get the sloppy seconds of all the postcards. Or what I'll do is I'll take a postcard and I won't read it. I'll instantly put it in an envelope and I'll mail it to him, and then he can read it on the show. The mail is a great thing. It works out perfectly for us. All that to say, thank you so much to everyone for listening to the show. If you've made it this far, if you're here from last week, doubly thank you for listening to the show. We appreciate each and every one of you from whatever community, whether it's Hanani's community or not. You've came and you've stuck with us. We are Xpwaste. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. But more importantly, answer the community question. If you're on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, you can follow us there. If you're on Apple, you can drop a rating and follow us there, I think, too. And generally, if you like clothes, we have merch that I am so beautifully modeling each and every week. Xpwaste.shop. If you want to join our Discord, discord.gg/OSRSTNL. I think that's everything. Any final words for us, Oxie?
We need to make an Xpwaste Hawaiian shirt.
Oh.
We need to figure out how to get that in the merch store. We need to get a Hawaiian gay boy dad shirt that people can wear open all summer long. I don't know what it will have on it. Maybe it'll have Xpwaste stuff. Maybe it'll... Who knows? Maybe it'll have like the Infernal Cape texture with just like my idiot face all over it, like the flowers are in the shirt I'm wearing right now. So
yeah,
who knows? Maybe that. So people have been making a plethora of emotes with my face on them. Shout out to Fizzle for constantly posting new pictures of me in various forms from the show. I love it. I do get a genuine kick out of it. But who knows? Maybe we could use something like that to make a Hawaiian shirt for the summertime. But I don't know how we do that on our merch store. So if we figure that out, that would be cool as hell.
I think we should try. I think we should definitely try. And if we have to switch merch companies, so be it. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.